Alright, in this video we're going to learn how to make changes to individual pages. And so to do that, I think it would be easiest to use the About page. And so we'll just explain the layout of it right now. It's pretty obvious, but to make everything come together, explaining it in simple terms like this will be important. Obviously you can see that there are 3 columns that make up the layout of this top part of the page. In this column you have 2 pictures. They're just stacked on top of each other. In the middle column you have your name, and then some your biography, your biographical section, and then in this third column over here you have some social media stuff with your Twitter and Instagram, and that's one section of the page. And then the second section we just have 2 buttons right here, and so we're going to look at how to make some changes to this. And to do that we're going to go up here to Edit Page, and that'll take you over here to the back end. Now, the page you just saw, this is what it looks like on the back end. I use a plugin called Visual Composer to edit pages, and like a plugin brings functionality to your website the same way an app brings functionality to your phone. And so Visual Composer looks like this on the back end. As you can see, I have 3 columns. There's your 2 pictures. There's your name and your bio in the middle column. There's your social media stuff on this side. And then in a completely different section down here, we have those 2 buttons that you saw as well. And I use Visual Composer because this is the Visual Composer side, and this is what it looks like if you don't use Visual Composer with all these shortcodes and all that stuff. That is no fun. So this makes it to where you, as the end user, can update and tweak very easily. And so if you say you wanted to change your bio, you wanted to tweak the wording of it, all you would do is you would come in here and you would click edit this text block, and you would do whatever you wanted to. You'd save changes, and then you click update for the whole page. Say you wanted to do the same to the image. You can edit your image right here, and you can edit this image right here. You can replace it. Let's just click on it so you can see. And this will bring up the single image settings. Here's the image I have there. You would just X out of it and put another one in there, and you're good. And then update the whole page again. But say we want to add, here's the 2 buttons right here. It says button, invite, and partner with us. Say we want to add a completely new section underneath those 2 buttons. So we would just go down a little further, click the plus button. Every time I do this, I add a row. A row is one of those sections I was talking about. This with the 2 buttons is a row, and it separates it from these other 3 little places up here. This right here with the pictures and the bio and this other stuff, the social stuff, that's all in one row. And so I want to add another row right here, and say I want to add some text. And so the text block will come up. I will say stuff about Mark. He's a great preacher, and other endorsement stuff. Maybe if you ever want to add endorsements to your About page, and I'll save those changes. So let's update that, and then go back over to the About page and refresh this page. Let's make sure that's alright. Yeah, so you can see where that's there. So it should be on the About page now. So there's say stuff about Mark, he's a great preacher, and other endorsement stuff. And what you'll notice, look at that girl. What you'll notice is this is all the way over here. And so to make it look right, you got to tweak just a little bit of the settings, and I'll show you how to do that if you want to bring it over. So let's go back up to Edit Page. Right now your template is full width, and you want it to stay that way. So every time you create a new page, make sure you go to Template Full Width. And the way we get the text to look right is we go down to this row where I said this stuff about you, and we go to this row button right here. It says edit this row. It'll pull up a box that says row settings. And so instead of our row being full width, even though the whole page is full width, we don't want the row to be full width. We want the row to be in grid And rather than trying to explain that, I'll just show you what it does. So I selected in grid. We'll update this page again. Let's go refresh the about page to see what happened. Yep, it's good there. Come on now. While it's reloading, well, I'm going to tell you what it's going to do. It takes a second when you update pages. It's not like your site is really slow or anything. It's just when you update, it's going to take a minute to go through the system. What it's going to do is it's going to move that text over. You see, it was over here. I made it in grid, and so now it's over here. But hey, it's still really close from the top to the bottom, so the row is not very high. And so what we want to do is we want to add a little bit of padding to that. So let's go back to the row settings, and we'll scroll down. We'll find where it says padding, and we want to maybe put 25 pixels on top, 25 pixels on bottom. And you know, while we're at it, I don't like the color of that background, so let's go and change the background color. We'll just go over to design options, background, and I just want it to be a little gray. And so if you know what color you want, you can just go, and I would use that gray, or you can make it, you know, whatever gray you want to right here. Let's just go with that one right there, just to give it a little contrast with the white at the top. And so we saved those settings. We'll update the page again, go back to the about page, update. And so what that's going to do is it's going to change that white to that grayish color, and it's going to put a little bit of space on the top and the bottom of that text. See? It's gray now, and there's space on the sides of it. But say I don't just want to have this go all the way across right here. I want it to be a little smaller, and I want to put a picture somewhere. When you hover over this, it'll bring up some column options. And so you can select what you want to. Let's just do, for the sake of simplicity, let's do half and half. And it'll split it automatically. And say you want the text to be on this side instead of that first column. You do that. Then to add another element to this, remember this is a text block. We want to add something else over here. So let's add, let's just add an image. You can go through all of these. There's a lot of fun stuff here, so it's neat all that you can do with Visual Composer. You know, let's add a product. Let's add a product. So I want to add your book here, When Misfits Become Kings. So we're going to save those changes, update this page, and we're going to refresh the whole page. And what that's going to do is it's going to create two columns down there on the bottom, and it's going to put your product right here, and it's going to put the other text right here. And again, you can put anything you want here. So, you know, let's maybe say, oh, I don't want that product there. Just trash it, hit OK, and you just want to put a picture there. So, single image, and you want to select your image. Let's just put this picture of a gathering there. Set image. Image size, you have to select something, otherwise, or you have to type in something. It'll say it right here. Enter the image size. Leave a parameter empty to use the thumbnail. Thumbnails never look good, so I recommend just putting full every time. And we want it to just be centered in that column. And you can play around with the image style as well. Say we want it rounded or circle. Let's do circle. You can link it to somewhere else, this image. We're not going to worry about all that. That's a little deeper. Update the page. Let's go back and refresh the page itself, the About page. What that's going to do is it's going to put a picture over here where this When Misfits Become Kings is, and it's a circle picture. And so you still have your two columns, and you have all this other stuff right here. And so what you've done in this video is you have learned how to use Visual Composer, the plugin that lays out your pages. You've learned how to add a row or another section. You've learned some of the elements that go into it, how to edit those elements by clicking this little pencil, and how to update your pages. And I've decided that I don't want this on here, so I'm just gonna delete that whole row. Okay. Update the page. I'm gonna go back to the About page. And it's back to the way it was. The end.